I started my morning by taking the tube to Kensington Palace, where I then headed through Hyde Park to find the Peter Pan statue. Westminster Abbey was absolutely beautiful. However, the lines were so incredibly long, I just didn't have time to wait to get to see the inside. I had a cruise to catch. A river cruise, that is, down the River Thames, all the way down to the Tower of London. Now it started at Big Ben and the London Eye, which is Europe's tallest Ferris wheel at 400 feet high. Oh, and that's the aquarium. I hope I can check it out next time.
It took 35 years to construct. The architect was for Ring. St Paul stands 365 feet high. That's 1 foot for each day of the year. The foundations of that building are just 6 feet deep. It is the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world, second only to St Peter's in the Vatican City of Rome. The Iron Duke, the Duke of Wellington, is entombed within St Paul's, as is the architect himself. Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It was funded by Sam Wanamaker, sadly he died, and it's the only building in London to have been built with a thatched roof since the Great Fire of London. They had to remove an Act of Parliament. It is a complete replica. There's got no roof, you are due to the elements of the weather. There's no microphones, they dress in the periodic day. And they do some of Shakespeare's finest plays. Then what it is, that is because it was built in the old Gothic style to blend in with the Tower of London, which is its neighbour. The centre parts of this bridge, these are called the bascles. These can be raised to let larger ships in the upper pool of London, and these can be raised in just over 2 minutes to let the ships in. If you was found of treason, you'd have been rowed down with us from that Palace of Westminster, the Houses of Parliament where we've just come from. You'd be taken through that gate, okay, marched up to Tower Hill, and you would be beheaded. It was known as London's very first one-way street.
The Tower of London is like a fun maze to explore. You could definitely spend an entire day here. Of course I had to take a selfie with Tower Bridge. Oh, and I loved White Tower, which is nearly 1,000 years old. It had this great armory exhibit, and it also had one of the original Norman toilets. Ta-da! This is where they keep the crown jewels on display, but the line was ridiculous, so I headed over to this line to wait for my chance to enter Bloody Tower, where they still have some of the old-time torture devices. Now on my river cruise, I learned that there was only one person to ever pass through Traitor's Gate to live, and it was Elizabeth I, who had been imprisoned by her evil sister Mary. After my cruise and the Tower of London, it was time to go see Buckingham Palace. Now I missed the changing of the guards, lame I know, and I didn't have time to go in. There was just too much to fit into one day. Cheeky picture of my name, I know, but then I headed back down the mall to my hotel and got ready to see a West End show, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. London is an awesome city. I had so much fun visiting there. Now granted, I did have a short day visit, which is a little bit more than the few hours I usually have when I visit a city. Tower of London was really cool. I got a souvenir book there. It's full of the history and stories, and I'm looking forward to reading this because I love stuff like that. And then what an amazing experience to visit a West End theater and see a show that night. I got to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which was quite honestly magical, I think is one of the best words I can use to describe that show. Look at the cute little program book. It was maybe like $5, which is a huge difference to the $20 programs I'm used to for the Broadway National Tours that I see here in the U.S. But it was great. And they served ice cream at intermission. Awesome. I had so much fun, and I hope that I get to go back many, many times, and of course for much longer time, so that I'm able to kind of make a dent on seeing all the great places that I would love to visit in London. I would really love to visit the Shakespeare Globe Theatre, because I think that would be really neat. Have you ever been to London? What was your favorite thing to see or do there? I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I can't wait to see you on my next trip. I'll be heading down to New Zealand to visit the city of Wellington. Until then, safe travels.